Are you ready to upgrade your oneNDA template to our new oneCLICK workflow? Today, I'm going to walk you through how to set up your free account and get started with this very simple but very powerful tool for automating your NDA process. Hello, my name is Preston Clark. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SimpleDocs. At SimpleDocs, we turn your manual contract processes into scalable automations, saving time for your legal teams and accelerating deals for your sales teams. To help show off what's possible with SimpleDocs, we've partnered with oneNDA and launched a brand new workflow tool called oneCLICK, and it's completely free to use. If you're already familiar with the oneNDA standard template, I think you will find oneCLICK to be an incredibly effective tool to drive adoption, both within your organization and with counterparties. I'm going to take a few minutes now to walk you through how to get your free oneCLICK account set up. First things first, if you don't yet have an AutoNDA or a SimpleDocs account, you're going to want to head over to simpledocs.com, click on Get Started for free. Here you'll be prompted to type a little bit of information in to create your account. You'll press sign up and immediately you'll be inside the platform. Once inside the platform, you're going to want to head over to the sidebar. Workflows is where we're going to get started today. And you will have two workflows already published to your free account. For our purposes today, we're going to focus on the one that is listed as oneCLICK. Now I'm going to start at the end to begin. And what that means is I'm going to show you what this looks like once it is completed. So our goal with oneCLICK is to give you a public, shareable link that enables counterparties to initiate the NDA process. And so what this link is going to look like once your account is set up is the following. You will have a logo on top, which I'll show you how to upload for yourself. You will have the standard language that comes with it, and you will have the variable terms that the counterparty needs to initiate: signer information, email, title, legal name, address, and if the submitter also wants a copy of the NDA. From there, they will hit submit, and the NDA will immediately be routed for review and signature, starting with the counterparty and then back to you or your designee for final signature. So now let's talk about how to create this version for you. I mentioned everything runs through the workflow. We're going to go back there. This is where we get started. You see these three dots here. We're going to click under terms. First things first, this is where you're going to be setting up your oneNDA variables. If you're already familiar with oneNDA, this should look very familiar to you. You're going to type in a purpose, confidentiality period, country, governing law, dispute resolution method, and jurisdiction. These become your defaults. And so when the counterparty or third party is initiating an NDA, these will be the default terms that are preloaded into the agreement. Next up is settings. You can decide whether or not you want the counterparty to initiate NDAs that get immediately routed for signature, or if you first want legal review. Perhaps when you're testing out the product for the first few times, you may want to take a look at it first, but ultimately, if you're moving a high volume of non-disclosure agreements, I would recommend turning this on and having it say yes. This means that the NDAs can immediately be routed for signature, and there's no bottleneck with legal and no delay. You can also enable automatic reminders, and you can also enable request expiration. This just means if the NDA isn't signed in a reasonable period of time that it is canceled. Okay, last but not least is roles and permissions. Most important here is signers. This is going to be who you designate to be the signer on your side. And this is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to walk you through how to do this. If the signer is someone other than you, and I'm going to assume with this audience that you are either a legal operations or general counsel lead within your organization, but if in fact you are an executive and you are a signer, then this also relates to you. But what you're going to want to do is head over to settings, we're going to come back. We're going to come back to rules and permissions in a second, but we're going to go over to users and groups, and we're going to add a new user. And what is the purpose here? We're going to be adding your signer. So this could be your CEO, this could be a GM, this could be someone on your procurement team, whomever it is. You will type in their information here, and an invitation will be sent. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. For test purposes, I'm going to say that our signer is going to be Bobby Johnson, and his title is GM, General Manager, and his email, I'm going to make up an email at bobby@lawinsider.com. That's the company name we're using today for demo purposes. Now I'm going to hit send invitation, and I got the confirmation that that has now gone out. You see it here, Bobby Johnson. So now when I go back to my workflow and I go back to roles and permissions where I just was, I can go and click on the pencil and select now the signer who I want to be designated for this one-click workflow. I have Bobby Johnson here, who I just added. I'm going to click save, and now this is done. What does approver mean? This is not the most critical of fields to update, but if in this previous tab you indicated that all NDAs needed to go through you for approval before they get routed for signature, then in this case, the approver actually matters a great deal, because this is the person who's going to receive all of those preview NDAs before they are released back to the counterparty for review and signature. Hopefully that makes sense, but this is perhaps the most complex part of setup. So let's keep going. So now we have our workflow configured. I'm going to show you how to check that and sort of see where we are in the process. I can go to modify workflow. I can see everything that is here. I have my entity name. I have which workflow it is. I have my default variables, purpose, country, governing law, etc. I have my rules and settings. I have my signer indicated. So everything here is configured the way I want it to be. And now what I need is my logo. So this is under company. You're going to add your logo here. And once this is uploaded, I already have my logo here, but you'll be prompted to do it for yourself. But it's under branding and it's under company. And once that is done, then we get to go back to the workflows once again. We click on our active workflow for oneCLICK. And here it is. Here is our link that we will be using, and I'm just going to reload this. It's the same one I showed you at the start of this call, of this Loom video. And here it is. Here are my defaults, and here are the variables that are open for the counterparty to initiate. So let's go through this. Let me do a test scenario here. I'm just going to type in some fake information. I can leave address blank. They'll be prompted to fill this in at point of signature if they don't fill it in here. And we'll just put in a submitter email just in case. And now I'm going to hit submit. And just like that, the NDA is out the door and is being routed now for review and signature. That is it. Now, what else? So there's two more really important things. One is where the NDAs end up once they are signed, and two, it's how it is exactly they get signed. So if you currently have, and this is really cool and incredibly powerful part of the product, if you have an account with DocuSign or Dropbox Sign or Adobe Sign, literally within seconds you can integrate your oneCLICK account with those e-sign tools. And that's really, really important, because we're trying to automate your entire process and get you all the way through to signature and to archive. And in order to do that, we need to allow a really seamless way to integrate with your e-sign tool. We've done that today. Adobe Sign is not yet active, but it will be in the next few days. But for our purposes right now, how you use and integrate with DocuSign, as to illustrate the example, is you click on the pencil, you click on add a new account, your DocuSign pop-up will appear, you hit connect, it will ask you to authenticate and connect with your DocuSign account. And once that is done, you will immediately then be able to start routing NDAs for signature using the oneCLICK workflow. Last thing is, where do the NDAs end up when they are signed? They end up, of course, in the NDA repository, which is on the sidebar. You can click here into individual NDAs. You can download them. You can search for metadata and history, when it was signed, who signed it, etc. And you can also, as your database of NDAs gets bigger, you can filter by different search criteria: requester, effective date, internal signer, record subtype, etc. Now, of course, SimpleDocs is a contract management system. We are designed to automate your most routine, your most high volume contracts, and oneNDA and oneCLICK are just examples of how we do that. So of course you can put other contract types in here. Of course we can automate other contract types, but for illustration purposes today, we're focusing on oneCLICK, and hopefully this was a good introduction. You can always email us at support@simpledocs.com or head on over to our website and our resource center. I'll show you what that looks like now. SimpleDocs.com, up in the top, resources. We have lots of tips and information on how to get more value, more access, more familiarity with the tool. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, my name is Preston Clark. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SimpleDocs. I'm very excited for you to dive into oneCLICK and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.